Hello, Sarah. Hello, everyone. Hello, Hero. Hello, Luna. Hello, Thee. We're going to talk about vocabulary. We're going to have some interesting conversations about vocabulary. Hello, Flavia. I will be ready in just a couple of minutes, everybody. I just need to check on a few things. Hello, Juliet. Hello, Mohammed. Welcome. Thank you, Ahmad. Sorry I'm a bit late today, everybody. I was very busy this morning teaching. We will get started in just a few minutes. If you are new, then hello. My name is Teacher Mark. What's up? I am an English teacher. I am a drummer. I am a cook. I am anything that I think I can do. And I have been on Hello Talk for about 10 years. I just passed 69,000 followers yesterday. If you want to follow me, I have a new great way for you to follow me. Go to my link tree right here. Go to my link tree. If you go to my link tree, you can find my website. You can find my Hello Talk. You can find my YouTube. You can find my Facebook. You can find my Buy Me a Coffee page. You can even follow my rock band. Okay? So go to my link tree and you'll find all my links. That's right, 10 years. Do I have lives here every day? Not every day, Sarah, no. I usually do lives on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I usually do voice rooms on Tuesday and Thursday. But I'm very, very busy recently, so I don't have a set time anymore. I try to do my live streams in the morning here in the United States, but sometimes I'm busy teaching lessons in the morning. And so, like today, I had lessons until about 11 o'clock. and I needed to do some paperwork after my lessons. So now here I am. It's almost 12 o'clock, and I'm starting my live stream now. Okay? My voice rooms, I do them anytime I possibly can, but I'm busy. So sometimes it's in the morning, sometimes it's in the afternoon, sometimes it's in the evening. Follow me and you will get a notification. Okay? Follow me and you'll get a notification. Let's see. Hello, Luna. You've been playing drums for 2 months? Well, that's great. I've been playing drums for 35 years. 35 years. Actually, more than that now, actually. I think, what is it? 36? Something like that. Today you talked with Tishana on her voice room and you talked about fruits and vegetables. Okay, well, actually, Flavia, it's funny you should say that because many of the words I'm going to teach you today are food words. Many English food words have funny history about where they come from. Where did we get that word? Etymology. That's what we're going to talk about today. Rishab. Hello, Rishab. Rishab, the number one rule in my rooms is you must be patient. Okay? There are many people talking to me at once. I will try to answer all the questions if I can. But be patient, my friend, okay? And I didn't even understand your question because you didn't ask a question. A question has a question mark. You said, is this fluency enough with whose you are speaking? I'm not sure I understand what you mean. I'm not sure what you mean exactly. What are you trying to ask? Maybe ask it another way, and I'll see if I can answer you. Okay? Hello, Fluke. Like burger. Yeah, we're going to talk about burger. Hello, Tanya. We're going to talk about burger. We're going to talk about steak. We'll talk about French fries. We'll talk about many, many different new words for you. Or maybe not new words, but words that you can remember in a new way. Okay? Hello, Judith. Hello, Islam. Good to see you again, my friend. Is this speed okay? In which speed you are speaking here? Well, it's okay with me. Rishab, I'm an English teacher. That means that I speak at a teaching speed. Language has no speed. Language has no speed. So what that means is don't try to speak fast. You're from India, and many Indian people speak very quickly because Hindi and Tamil and some of the other languages from that region have a very fast rhythm to them, okay? But I will tell you one good tip. If you are from India or in that region, slow down. Slow down and people will understand your English better. If you speak too quickly, you're not impressing anyone, okay? Fast speed, fast language is not good language. Okay? So we're trying to have control, not speed. Okay? Ni hao, Peter. Yes, I will teach you that later, Ilyas. Today's topic is going to be etymology, but I will try to fit that in later, okay? Word building and phrase building. Slenderman. Slenderman. Hi. I'm not Elon Musk. Elon Musk is not here. We are not talking about Elon Musk. Why are you talking about Elon Musk? That's weird. And to be honest, he's not as great as you think he is. Find somebody better to admire. Okay? He's not as great as you think he is. Follow the topic, everyone. Follow the topic. So, we'll get started here. Why don't we go ahead and get started? And hello, Senjul from Istanbul. Nice to see you. So you learned the words tart and bland today, Flavia. That's good. Okay. That's interesting. Let me take a look at something very quickly here. Do you know where the word tart comes from, Flavia? Tart. If something is tart, it means it's very sour. Something is very sour. Okay? And so the word tart actually comes from a word that means painful. Because when you eat something sour, what happens to your face? If you eat something very, very sour, what happens to your face? Like it's painful, right? So that's where we get the word tart from. Tart things are so sour that they're almost makes you make a face like you're in pain. Okay? And let's see. Rishab, hi. I'm teaching the class. I'll answer the questions that I want to answer. I'm teaching a topic. Why don't you just try listening for a little bit, okay, my friend? What does the topic say? Just listen, guys. When you show up in a classroom, try listening first, okay? So the other word you learned was bland. Let's look at the word bland. Where does the word bland come from? Can't type today. Bland. Bland comes from the Italian word blando, meaning delicate, which comes from the Latin word blandus. Well, that's interesting. So the word bland means kind of boring tasting, right? It doesn't have a strong flavor. It's very mild, okay, bland. And it actually comes from a Latin word that means somebody who's a very smooth talker. A smooth talker, because a smooth talking person is very mild. They are able to talk to people easily, right? And they make you feel kind of comfortable and relaxed. So actually the word bland is a word that means the flavor is not very strong because it doesn't make you uncomfortable. Smooth talking people also don't make you uncomfortable, theoretically. Okay? So, hello everybody, hi, my name is Teacher Mark, and today I'm teaching a class about vocabulary, about the history of where words come from. And if you learn some of these stories about where the words come from, it's very interesting. Number one, it will make you, it'll allow you to remember the meanings much more easily. Number two, okay, and it's fun. Number three. So, for example, let's talk about the word steak. Who likes steak? Do you guys like steak? Steak is yummy, right? So where does the word steak come from? Steak is spelled like this, S-T-E-A-K, right? But there's another word that looks very similar. The word stick. What is a stick? What is a stick? Hello, Miguel. Good to see you, my friend. Hello, Ayub. A stick is a piece of wood. That's right. So let me ask you a question. How do you cook a steak? What is steak? Steak is cooked meat, right? Steak is cooked beef, right? So how do you think they did it a long time ago? How did they cook steak a long time ago? They used a stick. That's right. They put the meat on the stick and put it on the fire. So the word stick and the word steak are related because a steak is a piece of meat. They used to put it on a stick and cook it over the fire. So that's where that word comes from. All right? Stick is a kind of wood. That's right. A stick is a piece of wood. Okay? One moment. Let me check something here. Okay. Can you say branch? A branch and a stick are similar, but a branch is usually the word we use when it's still on the tree. A stick is what it's called when it falls off the tree or when you pull it off the tree. Okay? So there's one interesting etymology, the word stick and the word steak. They're related. Okay? Let's talk about hamburgers. Who likes hamburgers? Hamburgers are good. That's right. So, where did they come from? There's a city in Germany called Hamburg. There's a city in Germany called Hamburg. Now, the hamburger was created in America. The hamburger was created in America, but how was it created? America has people from everywhere, right? So there are people in America who came from Germany and people who came from France and people who came from China and people who came from Brazil. We have people from every place here, right? So, a long time ago, there was a group of German people living in the United States, and they were cooking, okay? And a long time ago, in that area of Germany, near the city of Hamburg, they often used to cook meat that was chopped meat, right? So the meat is chopped up very small. So that was called Hamburg-style meat. That was called Hamburg-style meat, okay? So the hamburger means chopped meat that's cooked in the style of Hamburg, Germany. Okay? So, sometimes you guys call things like a piece of chicken between bread, you say chicken burger. But that's not actually correct. A burger is only a burger if it is chopped meat. A burger is only a burger if it is chopped meat. Okay? So, if you have chopped beef between bread, that's a burger. If you have chopped pork or chopped chicken or chopped turkey, that is a burger. Hey, guys, what am I talking about, Dev? So, I need some help from my followers. I need some help, okay? I'm teaching my class today. I'm going to teach about vocabulary words and where they come from. So do me a favor. Yeah, Islam, do me a favor and help me by telling all the new people who are asking me random questions that I'm not talking about that right now. Okay? Thank you very much, Islam. Yeah, and any of you guys can do that. You can help me out with that. That will help me a lot because it's so frustrating when I'm trying to teach something and people start asking me questions about, what kind of shoes do you wear? And is grammar important? If you want to know more that I'm not talking about right now, go to my YouTube channel and you'll find a lot more. Okay, so go to my link tree, which is right here. Okay, go to my link tree and you can find all my links. Go to my YouTube. All right, go there and you'll find everything right there. I have lots and lots of videos on my YouTube channel that'll have all the answers to all your questions. Okay? What is the purpose of learning the history of vocabulary? Tatiana, the purpose is because it helps you remember the words more easily, 1. 2, there are many tricks to learning vocabulary words. They're related by their history. 3, it can help you understand the pronunciation or the spelling. So there are many reasons to learn the history of vocabulary words. Plus 4, it's fun and cool. Okay? And it happens to be one of my hobbies. So that's what we're teaching about today. I'm teaching about vocabulary history. If you don't like that, that's okay. No problem. But that's still what I'm teaching about today. Okay? So, what about French fries? Who likes French fries? Carolina likes French fries. Arnon likes French fries. Sarah likes French fries. Lynn likes French fries. Okay, so here's my next question. Are French fries French? Carolina says nope. Lynn says yes. Sarah says maybe. Elaha says maybe. French fries are not French. French fries are not French. So here's the story of where French fries comes from. Again, a long time ago in America, there were some people from another country who were living here. That country is Belgium. Belgium, the country of Belgium. Let me ask you a question. What language do they teach in Belgium? Or what language do they speak in Belgium? What language do they speak there? Do you know? Not Dutch, no. They speak French. They speak French in Belgium, okay? And so, a long time ago, there were some people from Belgium in the United States. And in Belgium, one of the favorite foods that they like to eat is called pommes frites. Pommes frites. Pomme means potato, and frites means fried. Fried potatoes. Okay, yes, not only French, but generally, mostly French. Okay? The number one language that's associated with Belgium is French. Okay? So, pommes frites is a popular, very, very popular traditional food in Belgium. It means fried potatoes. So there were some people in America from Belgium, and they were speaking French. Parlez-vous français? They were speaking French. And we saw them speaking French, and we saw them eating fried potatoes. So French fries. French fries. That's where we get French fries from. Miguel says French fries are from El Salvador. What? Well, Miguel, technically, many places around the world have fried potatoes, but that's not what I mean. I'm just talking about the term French fries. The term French fries is because we saw French-speaking people eating fried potatoes, and we put them together, and we said French fries. Okay? All right, let's talk about, what's another good vocabulary word, food vocabulary word to talk about? One moment, let me pull up my notes. Oh, I know, mocha. Mocha. How many people like to order cafe mocha? You guys know mocha? If you go to Starbucks, maybe you order a cafe mocha. Right? How many people like cafe mochas? Okay, you guys like mocha? Sami knows where it's from. Sami knows this one already. Mocha is actually named after a port city in Yemen. Mukha. M-U-K-H-A. Mukha. Mukha is a city on the ocean in Yemen. And that is a city that was very famous for coffee. They had lots of coffee coming there. Coffee shipments going out and coming in. That's where we get the word mocha from. Thank you, Ilyas. Thank you very much for that. Okay, so that's where we get the word mocha from. Mocha comes from the city of Mukha in Yemen. Okay? And Miguel says he likes frappuccino. Okay, so let's look at the word. What about cappuccino? Cappuccino. Do you guys like cappuccino? Where does cappuccino come from? Yeah, France. That's right. So cappuccino is named after some monks. Some monks. There were some monks who used to wear brown robes. They were called Capuchin monks in France. And these monks in France were called the Capuchin monks, and they wore brown robes. Okay? And so cappuccino is named because of the color of the cappuccino looked the same as the color of the monk's robe. Okay? So that's where cappuccino comes from. Angela wants to know, where does Americano come from? Well, that one's kind of funny. If you come to America, we never say, let me have an Americano. We never say that. We say black coffee. That's all we say. We just say, give me a black coffee. Okay? But if you go to other countries, they say cafe Americano. Okay? So, yeah. Anyway, latte. You want to know where latte comes from also? Okay, so we're talking about coffee. We may as well. That's fine. Latte is from the Latin word lac. Lac, L-A-C, in Latin means milk. Latte is what? What is a latte? A latte is a coffee with milk. Okay? So there you go. That's where we get latte from. Okay, lactose, that's right, Muir. That's right. Lactose is from the same word. Yeah, Tobias says Americano in German is a coffee with a lot of water. That's what we think of it, too. Yeah, the first time I had an Americano, I was like, what is this? Who wants that? And I have no idea where that idea came from. We do not drink it like that. I don't know anyone who drinks coffee with a bunch of water like that. I have no idea where that comes from. I think that was just a marketing trick somebody made up sometime. Yeah. So, anyway, okay, you want to know about espresso. Espresso, there's a word in there. The word press. What does press mean? To press. Right? To press. So, coffee that's made under extreme pressure is called espresso. Okay, so that's where the word espresso comes from. It comes from the Latin word esprimere, or exprimere, meaning to press out or squeeze out. Yeah, to squeeze or press. Yeah, so that's where we get the word espresso. Okay? Cocoa. Where does cocoa come from? Cocoa comes from Mexico. The word chocolate. Chocolate is originally from an old language that existed in Mexico before Spanish. There was a language there called Nahuatl. And chocolate, it's an Aztec language. And it comes from the word cacahuatl. Cacahuatl. Caca meaning water and huatl meaning chocolate. Because the original way that they used to drink it as a hot, it was basically chocolate water, hot chocolate water. That was the original way they used to drink it. Sometimes it was spicy, too. Okay. There you go. Saul knows. Yeah, Nahuatl, right? So the word chocolate, that's from Nahuatl. The word tomato, that's from Nahuatl. The word avocado, also from Nahuatl. I think it's wait, I'm pronouncing it wrong, right? Is it Nahuatl? Nahuatl, maybe? That's closer. I've never learned how to pronounce that word correctly, but it's close to that. Yeah. Okay. So there you go. There's a few cool words that come from an early Aztec language. Yeah, Nahuatl. So the word tomato comes from the word tomato. Tomato comes from tomato. That was the original way. Mm-hmm. And it means the swelling fruit. Tomato means the swelling fruit. Why? Because tomatoes get really big and fat, right? They swell. Okay? They get really big and fat, right? All right, so there you go. Hello, everyone. If you're new, welcome. I'm teaching a class today. Okay, so I have a subject and I'm teaching it. Please listen. It might be interesting. You might like it. So here, let's try this. You tell me a food word that you want to know the history of. Give me a food word and I'll tell you where it comes from. Okay, you tell me a food word and I will tell you where it comes from. Where does brunch come from? Brunch is a combination of breakfast and lunch. Brunch. Breakfast, lunch, brunch. Okay? Durian. You want to know where durian comes from? That's a good one. Let's find out. Durian comes from Malay. The word durian in Malay, duri, means thorn because the durian fruit has all those spikes on the outside of it, right? Yes, I'm live on YouTube. Yuna, you misunderstand me, Yuna. Durian exists in many countries in Asia, okay? It's most famous from Thailand, but the word durian comes from Malaysian, okay? The word durian comes from Malaysian, all right? Yeah, it has a very potent, very powerful smell. Yeah. Pineapple, well, that one's a good one, too. That one's relatively easy to understand. Pineapple is similar to durian in that way, because pineapple has pineapple actually. Well, what does a pine cone look like on a pine tree? And Sandri says durian is from Indonesia. Again, you guys don't understand what I'm talking about. I'm not saying where is the fruit from. Durian exists in Thailand. It exists in Indonesia. It exists in almost every country in Southeast Asia. Okay? I'm not saying where the fruit comes from. I'm saying where the word comes from. The word durian comes from an early Malaysian word. Okay? Pineapple comes from the word pine cone and apple put together. Okay? That's where pineapple comes from. It's like because it looks like a pine cone. Okay? Okay, let me give you some more words here. Let's see. I'm looking. Saul wants to know, where does mole come from? Mole. That's a Mexican word. Mole. Actually, that one's going to be hard for me to find. Maybe you'll have to find that one for me, because that's a Spanish word, right? It's not an English word, so I can't really find the English etymology for a Spanish word, right? Let me check something here. But you'll probably know that better than I would. Okay. Moon cake. Where does moon cake come from? Well, moon cakes, that's because those were the cakes that were made for Moon Festival. Chi, right? Those are the little snacks they made for Moon Festival, so that's why they're called moon cakes. Okay? Rice. The word rice comes from the Latin word oryza. Well, that word originally means rice in many languages. In French, it's ris. In Italian, it's riso. In Latin, it's oryza. In Greek, it's oryza. And in Indo-Iranian, they also have another word for it too, britsi. So they all mean rice. Rice is a very old thing, right? So the word rice comes from all the words that mean rice from a long time ago. Cherry, let's look at cherry. Where does cherry come from? Well, once again, cherry just comes from the old Greek word that means cherry. Kerasos means cherry tree. So that one just comes from an old word that means cherry. Okay, guava. Let's look at guava. Guava comes from Arawakan, from the West Indies. Guayabo, meaning guava tree. So once again, the word guava comes from an older word that means guava. How about apricot? Let's see. Apricot comes from Arabic. Albir Cook. Albir Cook. So that one actually comes from Portuguese and then from Arabic. And sometimes that's interesting too, if you like history. Sometimes where the words come from also has to do with where the words traveled to. So for example, the word tea, right? We pronounce it, we spell it T-E-A, and we pronounce it as tea. But actually, the original pronunciation of tea was te, not tea. And that came from a mispronounced word chai, which also is related to the Chinese word cha, meaning tea. So if you're from the Middle East, if you're from Turkey, what do they call tea? They often call it chai tea, right? India, chai tea. China, cha, right? So the word tea is related to all of those, but it just depends on how you found your tea. Okay, if you got your tea from the Dutch, then you call it chai. If you got it from Turkey, then you called it che, and then that became tea. Okay? Banana. All right, let's see. It was borrowed by the Spanish and Portuguese from the West African word. Well, guess what? That's an interesting one because the word banana comes from the word banana. That doesn't happen very often. Words usually change over time, right? But the word banana has not changed. The word banana has not changed at all. Okay, there's a good one. Pasta. Pasta. What is pasta? Pasta is noodles, right? So pasta comes from the Italian word pasta and the late Latin word pasta. So do you guys know this word? Paste. How do you make pasta? How do you make pasta? You have flour and egg and oil and water, and you mix them together to make a paste. So pasta comes from the word paste. You hate pasta. Who's we? I love pasta. I made pasta last night. Arabs hate pasta. I think that's a bit of a bold statement to make. I'm pretty sure there are some Arabs here who like pasta. If you're from the Middle East, how many of you like pasta? Anyone? So there we go. See? See? There we go. So you're wrong. Not all Arabs dislike pasta. Lots of people like pasta. Okay? Yeah, see, Menet loves pasta from Egypt. Okay? Okay, so next time, say, I hate pasta, not we hate pasta. Okay? Lynn, your doctor told you pasta's not good for you? No, pasta's great for you. Just don't eat it every day. Okay? Just don't eat it every day. And I will tell you this, Citrest, if you hate pasta, I'll tell you this, then you've never had good pasta. You've never had good pasta then. That's very possible. Okay, let me see. Any more words you guys want to know? Let's see. Tom yum gong, yeah, tom yum is a really yummy food, but again, that's a Thai word, not an English word, right? What about noodles? Noodles comes from a German word, Nudeln. That's from a German word, the word noodles. That's a good one. Noodle comes from the German word Nudel, and Nudel. But people actually are not sure where it comes from before that. So anyway, but that one's from German. Honey, let's see about honey. That one also comes from German. Honig, Honig. The original word means golden yellow. So the word honey means, actually, originally it comes from a word that means golden yellow. Why? Because honey is usually golden yellow, right? Okay, what else? Let's see. What about barbecue? How many people like barbecue? Anyone like barbecue? Chicken barbecue. Okay, barbecue. Yeah, lots of people like barbecue, right? Where does the word barbecue come from? The word barbecue comes from an old Spanish word, barbacoa, and before that from an early Haitian word, barbacoa. And it means a bunch of sticks that are made in a frame, right? So you put some sticks this way and some sticks this way, right? A bunch of sticks made like this, that's called a barbecue. Why? Because you would have a fire, and then you would put some green sticks together, some this way and some this way, and you put your meat on top. That's where we get the word barbecue from. So barbecue actually means a framework of sticks. Citrus, I already talked about the word rice. The word rice comes from the word rice. Rice exists, it's a very old food, and so every variation of it just means rice. Yeah. Okay. Lynn wants to know where bread comes from. Bread comes from, let's see. Oh, it comes from a German word that means to bubble. To bubble. Why? Because when you make bread, you have flour and you have water and you put them together, right? And then you let it sit. You let it sit, and what happens? What happens to the bread when you let it sit? Anyone? When you make bread, first you have the dough, right? Water and flour together, you make the dough. And fermentation, right? And what happens? It bubbles. It bubbles, right? It rises. There's air inside there. It rises. So the word bread comes from the word to bubble, because when you make bread, it rises with bubbles. Okay? Okay, guys, you're missing the point. There are some words that don't come from English. If it doesn't come from English, if it's not an English word, kabsa is not an English word. So I can't tell you where that comes from. All right? Understand? Large intestine sashimi. That's 这是中国的食物，所以这是不是美式的，不是英国的，不是英文的。Okay? Marshmallow, that's a fun one. Let's look at the word marshmallow. Marshmallow. Well, the word marshmallow sounds like exactly what it is. It's an old English word that describes a kind of mallow plant that grows near the salt marshes. Why do we call the little white things that are sweet? Why do we call that? Because originally, the original marshmallows were made from the root of the marshmallow plant. So let me see if I can show you what a marshmallow plant looks like. One moment. So take a look at this. Let me find a better picture. All right, let me share my screen. So this is a plant, and it's called the marshmallow plant. Okay? And marshmallows originally were made from the root of this plant, and they looked like this. Those are the original marshmallows. They were made from the root of the marshmallow plant. Now they don't make them from that plant anymore, but we still call them marshmallows. Okay? So there you go. That's where the marshmallow comes from. Thank you, Ilyas and Islam and everybody for trying to help explain what I'm doing here. A lot of English comes from German and Latin. Yeah, so finance, 60% of English comes from Latin or Greek. 30% comes from French, and a little bit more than 20% comes from German. But we also have many words from Arabic. We have many words from Hindi. We have words from Japan, from Japanese. We have words from China, from Chinese. We have words from Malaysia. The word ketchup is from Malaysia. The word shampoo is from Hindi. The word algebra and alcohol from Arabic. The word pants from Arabic and Spanish. The word cafeteria from French. Oh, no, sorry, the word cafe from French. The word cafeteria from Spanish. Okay? Sausage. Let's look at the word sausage. Sausage. Oh, okay, yeah, that's a good one. So the word sausage is related to the Latin word salsica. Salsica, which meant seasoned with salt, because sausage was made with a lot of salt in it, right? So sausage is related to the word salt. Okay? Yes, 现在我教英文课就是英文字历史. Okay, so I'm telling about where English words come from. What about strawberry? Let's look at strawberry. Let me keep looking. One moment. Well, that's interesting. So that comes from an Old English word, strawberry, but they don't know why we call them strawberries. That doesn't happen very often. They're not sure why they use the word straw with the word berry. They're not sure why. Okay, let's see. Zero from Russian? No, that's not true. We have some words from Russian. Let's see. One moment. Balaclava, that's from Russian. Cosmonaut, that's from Russian. Gulag, that's from Russian. Let's see. Mammoth, that's from Russian. Parka, that's from Russian. Pavlova. It's named after the Russian ballerina Anna Pavlova. Okay. The word Tsar, that's from Russian. The word yurt, that's from Russian. Okay, so yeah, we have some words from Russian. Can I tell you words from Chinese? Yeah, chopstick, that's from Chinese. Long time no see, that's from Chinese. 好久不见. Okay, there are, let's see, some other words from Chinese. English words from Chinese. Ketchup comes from an old Malaysian Amoy, an early Chinese language ketchup. Let's see. The word brainwashing, 洗脑, that comes from Chinese. Feng shui, Chinese. Gung ho, Chinese. Typhoon. Let's see. Kung fu, 这是功夫. Tofu, 这是豆腐. Tycoon also comes from Chinese. Okay, so there are some words from Chinese too. See? Restaurant comes from French. means a place where you go to eat food that restores you, to restore you with food. That's a restaurant. Okay? Machine is from French. Yes, machine is from French. And that one actually has a kind of an interesting word, or interesting meaning. Whoops. We're getting off the topic of food, but that's okay. So machine. There it is. It comes from French, but before French, it comes from Latin, right? So in machine, there is a Middle French word machine, but before that, many French words come from Latin, right? And the word in Latin is machina. And it originally was talking about a military machine, right? So when you fought a war, they would build things to try to win, right? Build machines. Right? Those were called war machines, or sometimes they were called war engines. Engine comes from the word meaning clever, smart, because when they saw you on the battlefield and you had some new machine that you were using to win, they would say, "Ooh, that's clever, that's smart." So, engine, clever, smart, genius. Okay? Sugar. Where does sugar come from? Sucre. So sugar comes from the Old French sucre, and then from Latin sucarum, which comes from Arabic sukar, which comes from Persian shakar, which even that goes back even further to Sanskrit. Sharkara, meaning ground or candied sugar. Right? So sugar is a very old thing, right? And so the original history is the English word comes from the French word comes from the Latin word comes from the Arabic word comes from the Persian word, and the Persian word comes from the Sanskrit word. Tobias, hamburgers were made in America first, but the history is there were some German settlers in America, and they were cooking in the style of Hamburg meat, which was chopped, right? So around that time, Hamburg people often cooked chopped meat. That was called Hamburg-style meat. So they put it between two pieces of bread, and we saw the chopped meat, and we called it a hamburger. So it's German and American. Okay. Thank you, finance. All right, I'm trying to catch up with the comments. Please be patient. Dumplings. Dumpling comes from a German word, an old German word, dump, which means a lump. And lings was often used on the end of words to make them like smaller, like a cuter version, a smaller version of them, right? So dump means lump, a lump of something. Dumplings means small little lumps. Okay? Baklava, let's look at baklava. I was talking about balaclava, but I think that's what you were referring to. But baklava, it comes from Turkish. So that's directly from Turkish. There are many words from Spanish also. Yeah, of course, there are many words in English from Spanish. Yeah. Okay, I mean, or I should say many Spanish words that have become very common in the English language, especially food. Taco, burrito, enchilada, empanada. Those are all, from Spanish. Tapas. Tapas means lid. The top. Lynn says, I believe that all languages are intertwined because they all come from the same root. Kind of, Lynn. Languages are like a tree. So the earliest languages, one of the earliest languages is Sanskrit. And there's another, we sometimes refer to Proto-Indo-European languages, which means a group of old languages that existed in the Indo-European region, right? But there were many languages there, so it's not just one. But sometimes we call it PIE, Proto-Indo-European. All right. And so, yeah, all languages have some sort of connection, but not all of them are connected equally. Some of them come from this branch. Some come from this branch. Some of them started at this point in time. Some of them started way earlier. Okay. Why is my Chinese so fluent? I think you mean. 这是因为我自己学中文大概10年，我喜欢学，我喜欢。And Elijah knows that's right. Ketchup. The word ketchup is really kind of interesting. It comes from an old Amoy early Asian language, katsup. Katsup. And originally, katsup just meant a fish sauce. A fish sauce, okay? But there were many Dutch traders, right? Dutch sailors who they always traveled through Southeast Asia, right? A long time ago, the Dutch were very, very big explorers of all of Southeast Asia, right? And so the sailors would often hear them using a sauce called katsup, katsup, katsup. So the word ketchup originally just meant a sauce. It just meant a sauce. But then, many, many years later, in England, it became very popular, and then people came from England to America. The Heinz family, I believe, is the first one to really use the word for what we now call ketchup. So you're right. Modern ketchup has no taste relation to the original version of ketchup, which was a fish sauce. But the word ketchup became popular as a word just to mean a sauce that you put on something. And the Heinz family adopted it and used it to call what they called their tomato-based sauce, tomato vinegar-based sauce. Okay, sit, rest. Sit, rest. Please be patient. Okay? Don't be so demanding. Okay? Arabic words. The word caravan from Arabic. The word alcohol from Arabic. The word algebra from Arabic. Let's see. There are a lot of words from Arabic. Average from Arabic. Let's see. Candy. Although sometimes they come from Arabic or Persian or a combination of the two. The word giraffe from Arabic. The word hazard. Ooh, that's a good one. Hazard comes from Arabic. Lemon and lime come from Arabic. Mascara comes from Arabic. Orange comes from Persian Arabic. Naranja. Let's see. Satin comes from Arabic. The number 0 comes from Arabic. Okay, so there are lots of words from Arabic too. Robot comes from Czech, actually, originally. That's a funny one. That's an interesting history where the word robot comes from. It means slave. The original meaning of the word robot actually means slave. Deus ex machina, that's right. Yeah. Where does broccoli come from? I'm going to say I believe it's from Italian. Broccoli comes from the Italian word broccolo, meaning it comes from an Italian word broco, meaning a shoot or to protrude forth, because when the broccoli plant grows, it grows from this small thing to this big thing, right? So it comes from the word meaning a sprout or something that shoots out from the ground. Okay, guys, there are 77 people here. Okay, so Citrest, are you still here, Citrest? Citrest, are you still here? No? Okay. Well, if he or she left, then fine. Because I have to tell you guys something. I get very annoyed if you keep writing your question to me a million times in the chat. That's not going to make me answer your question. That will make me ignore your question. Okay? Mansoor, I'll get to your question about coffee in just 1 minute. Please be patient. So, again, if you have a word you want me to talk about, that's okay. You can ask it. But don't ask it 100 times, or I will ignore you. Okay? Be patient. You're not the only person here. And I'm trying to teach about many things, so you must listen. Okay? Okay, let's see. Potatoes, potatoes, potatoes. Rachel wants to know about potatoes. Potato also comes from, let's see, from the Spanish word patata, which comes from the Haitian word batata. So the word potato actually comes, originally they were talking about sweet potatoes. And the word sweet potato in an old Haitian language is batata. Batata. So potato comes from the word sweet potato from the old Haitian language, batata. Coffee comes from Arabic too, I believe. Let me double check. I can't remember for sure. Coffee comes from the Arabic word kawa. It's connected to a word that means wine, but they actually think that coffee is an interesting word, because where does coffee come from first? Where was the first coffee made in the world? Ethiopia. So the word coffee comes from an Arabic word that they think it means from the Kaffa region of Ethiopia. Okay, so there's an area in Ethiopia called the Kaffa area, the Kaffa region. And the word coffee was from an Arabic word that was talking about from the Kaffa region. Okay? And yes, we have some words from Portuguese as well. That's right, Ruth. Again, English. That's why English is a complicated language, everybody. Because we have so many words from so many different languages. Okay? Okay, let's see. I'm trying to catch up. Think of all the languages that were lost. That's true. Yeah, that's always a funny thing to think about, a sad thing to think about. That's right. Vodka, also Russian. There you go. Max, be proud of that history. Have I ever been to China? Well, Arling Ilio da Arling Arling 我住在台湾. Thank you, finance. Okay. The number system also comes from Arabic. That's right. Yeah. That's right. What about the word alphabet? Where does the word alphabet come from? You're close. Not Roman. 这是希腊的. Greek. Alpha, beta. Those are the first two letters of the Greek alphabet. Alpha, beta, alphabet. Yeah, alpha, beta, gamma. Right. So that's where we get the word alphabet from. Okay? Elia says Russians like many kinds of food, but potatoes we eat often. Yeah, that's well. Like, look, I'm half Irish, Elia, and we eat a lot of potatoes too. Okay. All right, now, Ilyas, because Ilyas, are you still here, Ilyas? I hope you're still here. I hope I didn't run out of time. Ilyas, are you still here? Well, I hope you're still here, Ilyas. Ilyas has been following me for a while, and he asked me a question earlier that I told him I would answer. He wanted to know about how to practice linking words in English, right? So sometimes when you speak English, many people from other countries, when they speak English, all of their words are separated. So they speak like this when they speak English. Every word is separated like this. That doesn't sound very natural. So how can you learn how to connect the words more naturally? There's a way I teach called word building. Word building. And what that means, it's a musician's trick. It's a musician's trick. And what we do is you take a sentence. We'll take the sentence, I want to eat some chocolate. Okay? I want to eat some chocolate. That's the entire sentence. So here's how you're going to practice it to make it smooth and natural. You're going to start with the first word, then add the second word, then do the first word, the second word, the third word, then do the first word, the second word, the third word, the fourth word. So it's A, A, B, A, B, C, A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, E, A, B, C, D, E, F. And every time you repeat from the beginning. So you say okay, hello, RPG7. So you say I want to, I want to eat, I want to eat some, and Here's the key. You cannot move to the next word until you become very comfortable and relaxed with what you're saying. Okay? Like music. That's right. This is a trick from music. I'm a musician. So I'm applying musical ideas to language learning. Okay? I want to eat some. I want to eat some. I want to eat some chocolate. I want to eat some chocolate. I want to eat some chocolate. Okay? So that's called word building. And that's a really great way to practice more smooth linking of the words, okay? But you can also do it in another way called phrase building. Same idea, but instead of every word, now you're going to connect different phrases, right? So let's see. Let me find a sentence here I can use as an example. Whoops. Let's go over here. All right, so let's try to see if I can find a simple thing for you to read. One moment. Okay, here's a good one. Let me show you the page. Okay, so this is a little complicated. This is for advanced learners, okay? We're talking about opera now, okay? Now, word building would be if I read this like this. Opera, opera, opera. Opera refers. Opera refers. Opera refers to. Opera refers to. Opera refers to a. Opera refers to a. Opera refers to a dramatic art, right? You just add each one each time. But now we can do this a different way. Instead of adding one word, now we can break it down into each phrase. So in this big long sentence in the beginning here, it says, opera refers to a dramatic art form. That's one phrase. That's one phrase. Opera refers to a dramatic art form. Opera refers to a dramatic art form. Opera refers to a dramatic art form. The second phrase is originating in Europe. So now we're going to add that one. Opera refers to a dramatic art form originating in Europe. Opera refers to a dramatic art form originating in Europe. Then we go to the next phrase, in which the emotional content is conveyed. No, I think I'm going to add to the audience. So, in which the emotional content is conveyed to the audience. That's the next phrase. So, you repeat. Opera refers to a dramatic art form originating in Europe in which the emotional content is conveyed to the audience. Opera refers to a dramatic art form originating in Europe in which the emotional content is conveyed to the audience. So there's the third phrase, right? And we do the same thing. We just repeat the phrases instead of the words, right? So I call this word building and phrase building, okay? I take it from my drumming experience. As a drummer, we call it beat building, okay? When you have to practice a very complicated rhythm. Sometimes rhythms are very complicated, and you can't do the entire thing. It's too hard. If you try to do the entire thing, you won't do it well. So what we do is we do part A, and then A, B, and then A, B, C, then A, B, C, D, then A, B, C, D, E, right? And you just, what this does is it gives you a lot of practice, repetition from the beginning, and you're not allowed to move to the next word or phrase until you master that, until you feel comfortable doing it. Okay? When you feel comfortable, now you can add the next word or phrase. Okay? How does phrase building enhance the flow and emotional expression of a musical piece? The same way it does for language. Music comes in phrases, just like language comes in phrases. And if you don't know the proper way to separate those phrases and to group those phrases, it won't sound right. Okay, so for example, Für Elise. Für Elise. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-dum, da-da-da-dum, da-da-da-dum. You have ba-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-dum, da-da-da-dum, da-da-da-dum. Those are phrases. Okay? What specific exercises do I recommend for practicing word building? I think you should get some reading passages that you want to practice, okay? Whatever level you are. If you're a beginner, start with beginning reading. If you're advanced, then use advanced examples, advanced passages, advanced stories or articles. And then practice this idea of word building and phrase building, just like I was reading that before, okay? What do I think about using correct grammar? I think that if you're taking a test, you should use correct grammar. I think if you're at work, you probably need to use correct grammar. I think if you are at school, you need to use correct grammar. But I think if you're not at work and you're not at school and you're not taking a test, relax. Life is not a grammar test. Okay? Grammar enhances the communication of language, but grammar is not language itself. Okay? What about bourbon? Bourbon, the word bourbon. Whiskey is an interesting one, Tobias. Whiskey comes from an old, I believe it's Scottish or Celtic word, Uskabetha. Uskabetha means water of life. And that was actually, they were copying the Romans. The Romans used to drink something called aquavitae, which again means water of life, right? That was their word for alcohol. And the Scottish, Celtic peoples, they had a word called Uskabetha, which meant water of life. Uskabetha, whiskey. That's where we get the word whiskey from. Bourbon. Bourbon is an American corn whiskey. It comes from Bourbon County, Kentucky. So bourbon is named after an area in Kentucky in the United States, not far from where I live, where bourbon whiskey was first created. It was an alcohol made from corn. Okay? Okay. What common challenges do musicians face with word building and how can they overcome them? Well, that's an interesting question. Well, RPG, I will tell you this, or Ilias, I will tell you this method, this is my method. I created this. So, I mean, I didn't create the musical method. The musical method has been used by musicians for generations. But it was my idea to take that method and apply it to language. So I call it beat building when I teach it to my students, right? But I thought, well, why not use this for language as well? In the same way. It will help you in the same way. So if you ask another person, hey, do you know about word building? They're going to say, I have no idea what you're talking about. All right? Because that's my method. I created that. All right? So if you like it, great. But don't ask other people about it because they won't know. They won't have any idea what you're talking about. Okay? All right. Do you need to define each word that is new, or is it okay to not completely understand when reading English? Finance, that depends. That depends. There are many words that you can learn contextually. Okay, when you're reading, if there's a word that you don't know, if I'm reading something and let me think of a good example. If I'm reading something and it says the weather was hot and humid, the sweat was dripping down my neck. Maybe you know all those words except for the word humid. But you can probably guess the majority of the meaning just by reading that sentence. You know hot and you know sweaty. If you combine hot and sweaty, you get humid. Okay, humid means the air has a lot of water content in it, so it feels more wet, right? That's humid, okay? So, there you go, guys. There you go. Mayank says, but contextual understanding can sometimes be limited towards the extent of the meaning, no? Right. It can, of course. Okay? So that's why I said, sometimes when you're reading, you can definitely learn words contextually just by inferring the meaning from the context of the reading. Okay? So certainly, that's why reading is one of the best ways to learn new words. Okay? Reading is a great way to learn new words. Okay? If you read at the right level, then it will challenge you, but not so much that you are frustrated. And then you will really improve quickly because you'll learn a lot of words contextually where you don't have to stop and look them all up. Now, I still recommend if you see a new word, even if you learn it contextually, you should underline it or circle it or write it down for later. And then later you can look it up more clearly to have a better concept or understanding of what that word truly means. Okay? You understand, but it doesn't say what to do to unlock it. I'm not sure if I understand what you mean, Leandro. Are you talking about vocabulary words? Look it up. Look it up. Finance says a lot of subjects have their own nomenclature. That's true. They do, right? Every industry has its own lexicon, its own terminology, right? But again, that's not to say you can't learn something just by context. You can, oftentimes. Okay? RPG wants to know, how can I adapt word building and phrase building techniques when working with different musical genres or languages? Okay, well, with different musical genres, it doesn't really matter what the genre is. It's a repetitive learning technique to teach you controlled, let me think of my words carefully, controlled usage, right? So the goal of music is not to play fast. The goal of music is not to play loud. The goal of music is not to play soft. The goal of music is to be able to play fast, medium, slow, soft, loud, difficult, simple. So the goal of music is to play with control. Okay? So the goal of language, same. The goal of language is to use the language with control. Okay? So whether you're learning rock or jazz or blues or funk or classical or Indian or African or Brazilian, it doesn't matter. You apply the technique the same way. you apply this technique, and this is not the only technique you use to learn control, but it's one that you can. Okay? Yes, jargon is another way of saying it. Jargon is a little bit more of an informal language in an area. Okay? Terminology would be the formal way. Jargon is a bit more of informal language. Okay? Okay. So, and yeah, again, languages, it doesn't matter what language you're learning. You can still use this same concept. I used it for Chinese. You know, it helped me a lot with tones in Chinese. It's particularly useful for any tonal language. Because if you speak a language that's not tonal and you're learning a tonal language, we often go too quickly and we don't spend enough time to make sure the tones are correct. Right? So, if I say, 我要睡觉, that means I want sleep. If I say, 我要水饺, that means I want dumplings. And you have to slow down to learn it properly. You know, you have to make sure you're getting the tones just right. And if you use that technique of word building, 我要水饺 or 我要睡觉. That's right. You have to walk before you can run. Okay? All right. Let's see. What time is it? How long have I been here? An hour and a half. That's about right. Okay. So, can I share any specific examples where word building and phrase building techniques have transformed a performance or significantly enhanced the communication of the song's message? Ooh. Okay, so we're talking about music now, not language so much. Word building and phrase building can help you gain better control of your instrument when you play. If you have better control of the instrument, then you can play with more relaxed feeling. Relaxation is one of the most important things when you're trying to play well. Okay? Some people think that the faster you go, the more tense you get, but that's not true. The faster you go, the more relaxed you have to be. And that is actually counterintuitive to the way your body usually thinks, right? When you run, we always say, run harder, run faster, run harder. So we always think that you have to push your muscles to be more tense when you do things that are more intense, right? But actually, that's not true. The faster you go, the more relaxed you have to be in order to maintain control. Okay? So phrase building and word building in music, beat building, can teach you to make sure you maintain relaxed control through every step. That's the reason why you do it, is to learn relaxed control. And if you have relaxed control, then it's going to significantly enhance the performance of the song. Okay, if you're not relaxed, you can't perform well, period. Okay? Finances, I should write a book. I am writing a book. I am. I have many, many ideas that are all mine, and I am trying to write a book, but it's a very difficult thing to write a book, especially when you're a perfectionist. But I'm doing my best to get it done. It's going to take a little more time, but yeah. I'm writing a book about all of my ideas about language learning, English learning, and language learning. And many of them come from music. There are many other ideas I apply from music to language learning. Thank you very much, Finance. When you publish a book, that is a form of copyright. Once you get it published, that is copywritten. Now, fortunately for me, I've been talking about my ideas on my YouTube on my Hello Talk for about 3 years. So I have recorded, published proof that these ideas are mine. If somebody else has these ideas and publishes them and says they're yours, or I should say they are theirs, they would have to show that they had those ideas before me. So, yeah. All right. Hello, Erica. Good to see you. To get it done, we say a farlo. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. Good to know. Do I have interesting views in the differences between Chinese and American languages? Well, American is not a language. It's a variation of English, right? The accent and the vocabulary of English, right? Pronunciation, things like that. Do I have any interesting views about the differences between them? Let me think about that. So many people say English is not a tonal language, but I actually don't agree with that. English is a tonal language. It's emotionally tonal. So Chinese is a tonal language. Let me find the right word. So Chinese is a contextually tonal language, which means that the tones could change the meaning completely. All right? But English is a emotionally tonal language. So it's similar. So I always like to use the word dude. Do you guys know the word dude? It's a common word that means a man, right? But we use it in many, many ways in America. If I walk into a room and I say, dude, that means, oh, wow, it's good to see you. If I walk into the same room and I say, dude, that means, what did you do? If I walk into the room and I say, dude, that means, oh, no, I'm not looking forward to this. So you have the same word spoken with different tone, which gives different meaning. Similar, right? But there's no pattern to it the same way as in Chinese. Chinese has a specific tonal pattern, right? Yi sheng, er sheng, san sheng, si sheng, right? But English, the pattern is not necessarily... The pattern is interpretational. So some people will say it this way, some people will say it another way. Okay? Dude means buddy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like the word man. Sometimes we say, hey, man. Hey, dude. Same thing. Okay? How to deal with phrases. Is there an etymology to phrases? Sunday, there is an etymology to some phrases, particularly idioms. Idioms often have very interesting etymologies. If you want to remember idioms, search for the history of where that idiom comes from. They almost always have a very interesting story, and that'll help you remember them. Okay? All right. Hello, Ioana. So listen, everybody. It is what time? 1:24 here, and I've been here for about an hour and 45 minutes. And let me check my schedule here. I need to go because I need to prepare for a lesson I have at 2. So before I go, let me give you my link tree one more time. If you want to follow me, then please go here. Go to my link tree and you will find my website. You can buy private lessons from me if you want private lessons. You can find my Hello Talk profile. You can find my YouTube. And on my YouTube, there are many, many, many videos you can watch. Okay? You can go to my Facebook and follow me on Facebook. There's some stuff on Facebook. I don't post on Facebook very often yet. But, yeah. Okay, so go to my link tree and you will find all the ways you can follow me. All right? I do live streams and voice streams here Monday through Friday. So I'm here almost every day. Okay? And I have about 69,000 followers here on Hello Talk. Hello, Ahmed. I'm glad that you're here, but you're a little late, my friend. I'm just about to end. I'm just about to end. Okay? So, thank you guys for letting me blah, 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 blah for 2 hours. I hope you guys enjoyed learning about etymology. I always find it to be interesting. Some words are more interesting than others, but there are many, many interesting words to learn about the history of where they come from. Okay? So, like I said, I must go prepare for my next private lesson. If you want private lessons from me, go to my website and you can sign up. Go to my website and sign up anyway. I would appreciate that. If you like what I'm doing, please support me. Okay? And I will be back. I'll definitely be back on Monday. Sometimes I have extra time and I do an extra live stream or voice stream on the weekend, on Saturday or Sunday. Sometimes I have time for that, but sometimes I don't. Okay, so I definitely will be back on Monday. All right? Okay, everybody. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for participating. Have a good morning. Have a good afternoon. Have a good evening, wherever you live in the world. Okay? Don't forget to be a language warrior. Learning a language is a fight. It's not easy learning a language. Okay? You got to be willing to fight for it. All right. Thank you, Nabil. Thank you, Islam, for your help once again. I appreciate it. So I'll see you guys next time then, okay? Bye-bye.